I'm David Griffin. It's the 24th of October 2018 and I'm here at Darlydale. I'm talking to
Rev Keith Bamford.
Keith. We met only a couple of weeks ago when you came down to the exhibition, the cricket exhibition in Derbyshire, and discovered that you've got a really lengthy backstory, as it were, as regards the game of cricket. And we're sitting here at Darlydale where, of course, famously 43 years ago Derbyshire actually played a game here. But what's your first recollection of cricket at any level?
Well, my first experience of watching Derbyshire was a trip to Queen's Park in July 1967, age 13, for Derbyshire versus Essex, and memories there of Keith Boyce fielding in the covers and swishing the ball back to the keeper with great speed, and Keith Barker, the rather tubby little wicket-keeper captain who guided his players from behind the stumps.
Did you go by yourself?
I went with my granddad,
yeah.
my grandpa. Grandpa took me on the bus and he introduced me to cricket. I'll always be grateful for that because I was hooked when I.
And had you played any cricket at school or not?
Well, we played at Lady Manners a little bit, but
yeah.
not very well, and much prefer watching to playing.
Yeah. So what was magical about that first day then? What you say you were hooked, so what was the...
Well, it was sunshine and the beautiful place and just the game really, watching the game. I think I've seen it on television but never actually seen it live on the first class level. And the skills of the players really. Yeah, it's good.
And so you say you were hooked, so what was the next step to that? Did you want to watch more or play more or...?
No, I wanted to go to more games, and the next one I remember was the Gillette Cup semi-final at Chesterfield in 1969. It was packed and we sat on the grass outside the boundary, and Grandpa and I, and Peter Eyre was from the Hope Valley, and he might even be related to me in some way. He's certainly a good family friend, and he got 6 wickets, and it was a wonderful day. It was great, marvellous. And I remember as Sussex were collapsing towards the end, somebody shouted, "Hurry up, we've got a bus to catch," because there were 2 bus brothers who played for Sussex.
Of course, yeah.
So that was good, yeah.
Because that was actually Derbyshire's first ever semi-final. They'd never, because one-day cricket was only 7 years old at that stage, and Derbyshire had not really done particularly well in the Gillette Cup. And what was the mood in the ground? Because I remember talking to Derek Morgan, who was the captain, about it, and he said, "Oh, we said we only made 134 for 7 in 60 overs." Was there that sense of, well, this is never going to be enough in a 60-over game, or?
Oh yes, I think so. It wasn't a good innings really, not enough runs, but I don't know what happened. Sussex didn't bat very well, and Peter had his great day. I don't think he had many days like that. And
6 for 18.
Something like that. And I saw him get 100 there once as well later on.
Did you?
Yeah, with his wife.
And was it? And everyone. I mean, I was too young to be there in '69. But what sort of crowd was there? Because you hear all sorts of people tell me how many were there that day.
Oh, I don't know how many, but it was absolutely packed.
Was
I mean, we wouldn't have normally sat on the grass, but we had to.
Really?
Because it was full. Yes.
Nowhere else to go.
No, it was lovely. It was good. Yeah, it was a great atmosphere, and got better as it went on, really.
And were you able to go to the final?
No, we didn't go to the final. No, I watched it on the television, the BBC then in those days, and we didn't do so well there, did we?
No.
Lost. Was it Leadbeater got some runs?
The batting, because Boycott didn't play, did he?
No, he didn't. No, which was sort of a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, but it was a really good day. I really remember that and enjoy that. Yeah.
And was there a point where did you actually join Derbyshire as a member, or were you just?
No,
just
I don't.
Watching?
We never joined. We just used to go pay on the gate.
Yeah.
Just to go on the bus from Bamford.
Yeah. So where else did you see Derbyshire play, or were you generally watching at Chesterfield?
Well, we didn't go to Derby very much because it was a bit far, really. We used to go sometimes as a family. Most of our watching was at Chesterfield. We went as a family to some test matches to Old Trafford.
Yeah.
The first one was in June '68 on the morning Bobby Kennedy was shot.
Right, the Australians.
The Australians, that's right. And we saw Neil Hawke and Bill Lorry and Ian Redpath and people like that. And I remember Ken Higgs bowling for some reason. That's something that sticks in my mind. And then a year or two later next year we went to see the West Indies play on the 68 one was a really cold day, we were perishing, but 69 was really hot, boiling hot. And remembered Oliveira catching someone on the boundary, and Gary Sobers coming in and limping with his bad knee at the end of the game because he was on the end of his career then, really, in a way. But that was an experience.
What was the crowd like? Because we know in the 70s the crowds were very volatile with this huge mix of West Indian crowds and English crowds and all the drums and stuff. Was that prevalent in
I think
1969?
so. Yes, I think it was. Yeah, there would be a lot of West Indians there who were playing the drums and shouting and so on. Yeah, yes, because they used to shout no, didn't they, if they didn't hit a six.
And who else were the principal players on either side, really? You've mentioned Sobers and Ken Higgs.
Ken High played, I think. Yeah. I think Boycott must have played again. I know he played in the first one we saw, and Bob Barber used to open the batting with him, Warwickshire, and I presume Cowdrey or Graveney would have been there as well. Yeah.
And did you have a favourite player at that time? Was there anyone that you particularly wanted to see bat or ball?
Well, I used to enjoy watching some of the Derbyshire players. And, I don't know if Alan Ward was playing there then, was he? He was later on.
Yeah, but Alan Ward played in the late 60s.
Yes, I think I remember because he was fast.
Yeah.
I remember him and Page batting and so on. Yeah, but yeah. And the Test team, I used to enjoy watching Barrington and Cowdrey.
Yeah.
Cowdrey was a really graceful player, wasn't he? With his cover drive.
Yes.
Didn't see many more cover drives like that until Michael Vaughan, really. I would travel many miles to watch Michael Vaughan play a cover.
And Graveney was quite a classic.
Graveney was
I never saw Graveney, but everyone
yes,
says he was very classic.
Yeah, he didn't seem to hurry anything. He just did very gracefully. Yeah. So there were some good players around at the time.
And what were the facilities like at Old Trafford in the 60s for a Test match?
It was fine, yeah.
Was it?
I remember, yeah. There was no shelter, and there is. That isn't now, is there? You either get soaked or frazzled. There's no roof anywhere. But no, it was good. Yeah, I don't remember much about that really. But I don't think there were any hot dogs or hamburger vans there.
No, slightly different. People took little boxes with sandwiches in.
Yeah, we had some bags of sandwiches because we went on the train there from. And then there wasn't a tram in those days. There was another train from Oxford Road to Old Trafford. Yeah.
So we move into the 1970s, and are you're still able to watch Derbyshire because presumably by this point you're working?
Well, not really. Well, I went to college at Warrington in 1970. Get it right? 72, I think it was. Right. And so things changed a little bit then. Because I wasn't able to see much cricket there. But there's a little story I've written about Grindleford, about the Maynard Arms, which is still there, and that's where the Australians used to stay when they came, and Bradman and co, and go swimming in the River Derwent. And Keith Miller was there in 1948, and apparently he spent a little bit too long in the bar one night, and as was his wont, and missed the bus to Sheffield, Bramall Lane, and so there was a journalist there who lent him £10 for a taxi to get to Sheffield, and didn't see any repayment for years and years and years, and many years later at Melbourne he was sitting there watching the Test, and Miller came and tapped him on the shoulder and gave him some money. That's for Grindleford, he said.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow. So they stayed. So this would have been at Sheffield. Would have been the Yorkshire tour game.
It would, yes. I think they played at Derby as well.
They played in '48.
They may have stayed there again. I don't know.
But I can't imagine they'd have stayed at Grindleford for the game at Derby.
No, it'd be further south, wouldn't it? Yeah, but
for Sheffield, that would have been the Yorkshire tour match.
I think they played a few times. Stayed there a few times, and if you go in Maynard, there's some pictures of the cricketers on the wall there. Yeah.
Oh, that's one to go and have a look at actually.
Yeah.
Did you like watching Miller? I don't suppose you saw him.
I never saw him. No, I never saw him at all. No, because I wasn't born until '54.
Right. Yeah.
I presume he was still playing then. But
yes, he was. But
I didn't.
Tail end of his career.
It was not part of my memory really. No. Lindvall and Miller, but they were good, weren't they? They were top notch. Yeah. So we used to go to Chesterfield mostly, and occasionally to Derby, but Derby was cold, even in the middle of winter. It was like Arctic conditions and not a pretty place. And I remember Major Carr, Douglas Carr.
Yeah, he was the secretary. Yeah.
He did the announcements, very poosh.
The
Test match. It didn't seem to fit in really with Derby, but that was we didn't go there very often because it was just that bit further.
Yeah.
We didn't have a car, so it was.
Well, and I guess it was the era of genuine county cricket, where every county took cricket around the county.
Oh, yeah.
So you could actually live well away from the headquarters, but still see a lot of cricket.
Oh yeah, there were quite a few games at Chesterfield and every year, and Buxton went to, and Ilkeston I went for the Gillette. Was it Gillette Cup game against
77
Somerset?
Against Somerset.
Yes,
yeah,
that's right,
11,000 people there that day.
Yeah, I went there. That was good. Good day. We lost though, didn't we?
We did, but it was fascinating because it was Botham's emergence. He'd actually played his debut Test match at Trent Bridge in the preceding 5 days.
I saw Botham make his
debut. We both went to the same games, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
That was my first Test match.
Yeah.
And then the following day, there they all were. And when you look back at the two sides, Richards Garner and Botham, Peter Rose and people like that for Somerset. Derbyshire got Barlow, John Wright. Miller, Hendrick, Taylor. I mean, it was a golden age really of cricket.
It was good, yeah.
Superstars playing at little old Ilkeston as well.
Yeah, which they don't do now, do they? Because they're central contracts.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing some. I don't remember seeing Sobers play in county cricket, but he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
In the 60s.
My first day of county cricket, he scored 100 at Ilkeston.
All right.
Now you mentioned Buxton, and every time we talk to anyone about Buxton, the obvious comes up about the snow game.
Oh yeah.
Were you at Buxton in '75?
I was there on the Saturday.
Oh right.
Which was a beautiful,
it was
hot,
a nice day,
lovely hot, so really warm it was, and seemed memories of there was a song. Send on the clowns, bring on the clowns, don't worry they're here.
Send in the clowns,
Send in the clowns, yeah, that must have been big at the time. I remember hearing that on the radio on the way there. Anyway, that's. But no, it was a really hot day. We sat in these cinema seats.
Yep.
Which were not brilliant, but they were okay. It must have been horrible when it rained. And Hayes and Clive Lloyd put on, I don't know, hundreds.
Yeah.
And they were 477 for 5.
Yeah. Off 100 overs. They had to declare, didn't they, because of the limitation on the first inning.
I've seen the ball going over the trees many dozens of times. Yeah, that was very impressive actually. Yeah, our bowling wasn't brilliant. Another memory. Oh, then
sorry, just going back to
then on the next day it snowed.
On the Monday, were you?
No, I was back at school then.
Right.
Yeah, or some college or somewhere. No, I didn't see that. But
and was it snowing where you were?
I'm not sure.
All right.
I'm not sure.
Because most people in the south or away from Buxton weren't aware until the following day that it had snowed because there was no teletext, CFAX, no internet.
Different days, weren't they?
Yeah.
No, I remember reading about it, and Ashley Harvey Walker took his teeth out, didn't he? Gave them to Dickie Bird.
The pitch was too dangerous.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And he died. He was
yes,
shot, wasn't
he died. Yes,
he was shot in South Africa. It was sad,
awful.
Sad end. Yeah. It's a very tall, stiff sort of character, wasn't he? And not a bad batsman.
Yeah, he got 100 on his debut. We always thought he looked a bit like Lord Lucan.
Well, yes, very grand, wasn't he?
Yes.
It must have been an aristocratic
Indeed.
family. No, that was a good day at Buxton that day. If Derbyshire had been batting and got that many runs, it would have been even better. But they didn't. Now, in 1972, I went to college. But before I went, just a few weeks before, I had the pleasure of watching Alan Hill make his debut.
Right.
And he speeded up to 11 before lunch. It was terrible. Everybody was bored stiff. And I've heard him speak at a lunch since, and he said, one of the umpires once said to him, "They'll now get done for speeding, laddies."
Well, I mean, Alan's record, of course, is very good for Derbyshire.
Oh yeah, he got lots of runs, yeah.
But yes, he was quite
obdurate, I think.
It
wasn't exciting, and Barlow bowled him in the nets as a story. Hit the thing, hit the ball.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think Alan's recounted that himself,
Yeah, but I did see him later in '86 at Abbeydale Park, and I was at Cliff College. We went, some friends went, and he got 100 then, and it took him nearly till close of play.
Was that the win? That's when we'd not won for 20 years, I think, or something against Yorkshire.
I think we did well that game.
And of course, that same season, he shared in the world record opening stand in a one-day game with Ian Anderson. They put 286 on, I think, in about 40 odd overs, you know.
Right. Oh, well.
So he could occasionally.
He had his moments.
When the moment took him,
Yeah, that's right. So that's a memory. And there was Chris Wilkins, of course, came along in the early 70s, was that? Yeah, it's the first overseas player. And he used to hit the ball out the park a lot, which was entertaining, good. He didn't get big scores, but he used to get bright and breezy scores, didn't he?
Yeah, I think there were a few players who played that came overseas that weren't quite the top-notch sort of players, without being disrespectful. But they still had that sort of... People talk about Chris Wilkins quite positively, because I think they enjoyed the way he played the game.
That's right.
It was very Colin Milburn-ish kind of, get after the ball.
That's right. Because he just died, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It was a bit on the peak fan thing about him.
Play it in a fun way kind of thing.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I think he'd probably been in the test team if they'd had a test team at the time. Yeah. The other one was Jeff Miller, who I used to watch and enjoy watching. Saw him play an early game at Chesterfield in 1973 when he got 44 as a top score, and Cowdrey was there in the covers, and he clapped him all the way back to the pavilion with a huge smile on his face. He obviously seen something special that day, which was good. Yeah, because Cowdrey was a generous soul, wasn't he?
Absolutely, and I think Miller was everybody recognised from an early age, didn't they, that he'd got real potential. And, could play Test cricket. Of course.
Good. Yeah, and he
had
did.
A wonderful career in the end.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah,
on and off the field.
Yes, and later on. Yeah. I've never heard him speak. I'd like to hear him speak, because he's supposed to be
definitely worth it.
Worth a listen. Yeah. And then we signed Lawrence Rowe, didn't we? In 1974, and I remember seeing him, and he wouldn't run even for an easy single. He just got the fours. I couldn't understand that, because he could have got a lot more runs if he'd shaped himself and run a few singles and twos. But obviously a great man, although I never saw him get a lot of runs. But
well, no one in Derbyshire did, because his highest score was 88, I think, for Derbyshire. But of course, he'd come as he was averaging 70 in Test cricket.
A huge score, didn't he, in the Test match?
302. He had a century and a double hundred against England. He came as, and Michael Holding always used to say that he thought he would be the great batsman that Viv Richards went on to become. But it just wasn't to be.
Well, he had an illness, didn't he? Allergic to grass, which is unfortunate
for
a cricketer. But anyway, I remember John Arlott used to wax lyrical about him when he was on the telly. It's a wonderful shot.
Very classy player.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So then there was this famous game in Darley-Dale, which we went to on a Sunday afternoon. I didn't live in Darley-Dale then; I lived in Bamford still. And we went as a family with some friends who were staying with us, and it was just crowded. We just couldn't see any grass anywhere. And the television were there, and it was good. It's an amazing day, really.
I think most amazing because, of course, the game would have been switched back to Derby in a later era. But the game was scheduled to be played there.
Oh yeah.
So that was that, really.
Yeah, and Greenwich and Richards. And cool. It was great. Yeah.
I was told there were more people in the ground than lived in Darley-Dale.
I'm sure there were. Yeah.
Because they just weren't. I don't think anyone was expecting the numbers to turn up. They did. Hampshire brought coachloads of people, and of course the BBC got the trucks and the scaffolding and everything else.
Yeah, there was John Arlott was there, and didn't see him, but could hear him. Yeah, it's great. So that was a special day. And they've not played another game here, have they?
No, indeed. Well, that's again one of the sad losses. Keith, I'm just going to have to stop you there because I think it's an appropriate moment just to call a halt. But for now, thank you very much indeed.
Okay.